नंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल श्री श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुम् उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। I sincerely welcome all the devotees for the today's morning Bhagavatam class. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. And the title of this chapter is Sri Narada Muni visits the Dwarka palaces. Today is Shlok Kramank 38 and 39. So let's recite this. vidāma yoga-māyāste, vidāma yoga-māyāste, durdarśāpi māyinām, durdarśāpi māyinām, yogeśvarātman nirbhātā, yogeśvarātman nirbhātā, bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā, 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 vidāma yoga-māyāste, durdarśāpi māyinām, yogeśvarātman nirbhātā, bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā, vidāma yoga-māyāste, durdarśāpi māyinām, yogeśvarātman nirbhātā, bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā, vidāma yoga-māyāste durdarśā māyinām yogeśvarātman nirbhātā bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā vidāma yoga-māyāste durdarśā māyinām yogeśvarātman nirbhātā bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā vidāma yoga-māyāste durdarśā māyinām yogeśvarātman nirbhātā bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā. Matayin? vidāma yoga-māyāste durdarśā māyinām yogeśvarātman nirbhātā bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā vidāma yoga-māyāste durdarśā māyinām yogeśvarātman nirbhātā bhavat-pāda-niṣevayā. Hare Krishna. Word to word meaning synonyms. Vidāma, we know. Yoga-māyāya, the mystic potencies. Te, your. Durdarśāḥ, impossible to see. Api, even. Māyinām, for great mystics. Yoga-īśvara, O Lord of all my power. O Lord of all mystic power. ātman, O Supreme Soul. Nirbhātāḥ, perceived. Bhavat, your. Pada, to the feet. Niṣevayā, by service. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Narada Muni said, now we understand your mystic potencies, which are difficult to comprehend. Even for great mystics, O Supreme Soul, Master of all mystic power, only by serving your feet have I been able to perceive your prowess. Purport. According to the ācāryas, this verse indicates that even great mystics like Lord Brahmā and Lord Śiva cannot fully comprehend the mystic power of the Supreme Lord. So there is another verse today. Anujanahi mam deva lokamste yashasa plutan paryatami tavodgayam lila bhavana pavaniha. So Narada Muni then said, Anujanahi, please give me leave, mam, to me, Deva, O Lord, Lokan, the words, Te, your, Yashasha, with the fame, Aplutan, flooded, Paryatami, I will wander, Tava, your, Udgayan, loudly singing, Leelaha, the pastimes, Bhuvanaha, all the planetary systems, Pavanaha, with purity. So translation of this verse, O Lord, please give me your leave. I will wander about the worlds which are flooded with your fame, loudly singing about your pastimes, which purify the universe. So purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Even Narada Muni was bewildered to see Lord Krishna's amazing pastimes as a human being. Therefore, with words Anujanihi Mam Deva, he requests permission to return to his normal service of traveling and preaching. Inspired by what he has seen, he wants to preach widely the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna. So once again I welcome all the devotees for today's morning class. So this is Canto 10, Chapter 69, and title of this chapter is Narada Muni visits Dwarka palaces. Let us try to see the background of this shloka today. So this chapter starts with Narada Muni's desire to see Lord's potencies. When Lord Krishna rescued all the 16,000 princes who were captivated by Narakasura in Prag Jyotishpura, the earlier chapter we had seen, and Lord Krishna relieved all of these princes and brings them to Dwarka, because all these princes they had a desire to marry Krishna himself. So Krishna accepted them and brought them to Dwarka, and he married each and every princess, 16,000, all beautiful princesses, and he constructed, with the help of Vishwakarma, a beautiful palace for each of these princes. And it is explained in this chapter and also in the previous chapters how Lord Krishna married all these princes at the same time, expanding himself into all that 16,000 forms. So it is amazing that Lord has expanded into all that 16,000 princes. He was husband individually with each of these princes. And not only that, all the relatives of the Krishna, like Devaki and Vasudevji and all the other Yaduvamshis, are also expanded equally into all the palaces, as if the marriage was happening individually in each of these palaces. And then Sukdev Goswami said, hearing that the Lord Krishna had killed Narakasura and had alone married many brides, Narada Muni desired to see the Lord in this situation. He thought it is quite amazing that in a single body Lord Krishna simultaneously married 16,000 women, each in a separate palace. Thus the sage of the demigod eagerly went to Dwarka. So Narada Muni goes to Dwarka. First he wanders in that Dwarka in many places. This district where the demigod Vishwakarma had shown all his divine skill was the residential area of Lord Hari, and thus it was gorgeously decorated by the 16,000 palaces of Lord Krishna's queens. Narada Muni entered one of these immense palaces. So he first goes to Mata Rukmini's palace, and also Dwarka boasted thousands of royal palaces, all constructed with crystal and silver, splendorously decorated with huge emeralds. Inside these palaces, the furnishings were bedecked with gold and jewels. Traffic moved along the well-laid out system of boulevards, roads, intersections and marketplaces, and many assembly houses and temples of demigod graced the charming city. So the place of Dwarka is described as seen by Narada Muni. Srila Jiva Goswami points out that Twasta, the Vishwakarma, manifested the expertise of the Supreme Lord, and thus he was able to build such exquisite palaces. Srila Prabhupada writes, the great kings and princes of the world used to visit these palaces just to worship Lord Krishna. The architectural plans were made personally by Vishwakarma, the engineer of the demigod, and in the construction of these palaces he exhibited all his talents and ingenuity. So these palaces were very nicely built, and even today there are so many discoveries happening in Dwarka. We see that the remnants of these palaces even today, and many people are doing research on this. The Supreme Lord is the greatest upholder of all religious principle. Thus, where he noticed Narada, he rose at once from the goddess Sri's bed, bowed his crowned head at Nara's feet, and joining his palm, had the sage sit on his own seat. So, this is a very interesting behavior that Lord displayed. When Naradji came into the Lord's palace, Lord Krishna personally got up from his seat, bowed his head to Narada Muni's feet, and welcomed him to sit on his own seat. And then, this is the great quality of the Lord. As a perfect householder, when the sages or the devotees come to the house, how one should behave. This personally Lord is teaching here how one should welcome and how one should treat the sadhus in the Grihastha's house. So this is a very beautiful verse Sukadeva Goswami sings here. Tashyaba nijja charanau tadapa swamargna Vibra jagat guru tamo pisatam patirhi Brahmanya deva itiyat gunanama yuktam Tashaiva yacharana chayo chamashesha tirtam. The Lord bathed Narada's feet and then put the water on his head. He sprinkled this water on his head. Although Lord Krishna is the supreme spiritual authority of the universe and the master of his devotees, it was proper for him to behave in this way. For his name is Brahmanya Devaya, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, the Lord who favors Brahmanas. Thus Sri Krishna honored the sage Narada by bathing his feet, even though the water that bathes the Lord's own feet become the Ganges, the ultimate holy shrine. Although the water emanating from the Lord's feet becomes a holy shrine, but today Lord is bathing the Narada's feet with humility and with respect. And Narada Muni sitting on his posture, he was feeling very awkward. But then he allowed the Lord to bathe his feet because he knows that Lord is demonstrating how a good householder should behave. He is teaching the whole world. And when the Narada Muni was returning from this palace, somehow he felt inside awkward. Alas, how did I allow the Lord to bathe my feet? It was not good on my part. So he was feeling inside. But then Lord with very sweet word convinces Lord that whatever I have done is not, you need not to feel offense for this. Because as a householder, it is my duty to uphold the principles of religiosity. And then he says, my child Narada, when a father takes a child on his lap, sometimes the child touches his feet, the body of his father with his feet. So the father does not feel offended. In fact, sometimes he feels happy. Similarly, when the child is in the mother's womb, sometimes the child kicks the mother's stomach, with his feet. But the mother feels very happy. She does not feel awkward or she does not feel offended. So just like that, you are my child. And you don't feel offended because Lord Krishna resides as Paramatma in everybody's heart. So he could understand the feelings of what Narada Muni was feeling inside. So he was pacifying that you don't have to feel. So there is a similar verse where Brahmaji, Lord Brahma, when he offended Krishna, in the Brahma Vimohana Leela, afterwards, when Brahmaji came to know that, I was the greatest offender, I could not understand the potencies and powers of Krishna. And I stole all his calf and gopas. And personally he came to meet Lord Krishna. And with various beautiful prayers, he tried to pacify Lord Krishna and asked him to kindly pardon me. And Brahma ji sings very beautiful shloka here in this Canto 10, chapter 14. So Lord Brahma says, Utkshepanam garbhagatasya padayoh kim kalpate maturadoksha jagase kim asti nasti vyapadesha bhushitam tavasti kukshe kiyadappanantaha. O Lord Adoksha, does a mother take offense when the child within her womb kicks with her legs? And is there anything in existence, whether designated by various philosophers as real or as unreal, that is actually outside your abdomen? Everything is within your abdomen, my Lord. So whatever I have offended, I am just like a small child. So does mother takes it as an offense when the child kicks her stomach? So this is how Lord Brahma is trying to pacify and asking pardon from Lord Krishna. In a similar way, the same words Lord Krishna is telling Narada. My son, you don't feel offended. Just like a small child touches with his feet the body of his father, the father does not take it as an offense. So similarly, you don't have to feel. So this way, he pacifies Narada Muni and pleases him. And then, Lord with very sweet word asks, what we can do for you? How is that you have come to see us? So it's the Lord's, the great quality. And Narada Muni with the bowed head, he prays, my Lord, please favor me so that I may constantly think of you as I travel about. Please grant me the power to remember you. So Narada Muni, and then he leaves that place, and then he goes to, taking the leave from the Lord, he enters into another palace. Narada Muni then entered the palace of another Lord, Krishna's wife. My dear king, Parikshit Maharaj, he was eager to witness the spiritual potency possessed by the master of all mystic power. Lord Krishna is the yogeśvara and he is the Akhila Guru. He is teaching by his own example how an ideal grahastha should behave. So there he could see, Narada Muni could witness, there he saw the Lord playing a dice with some of his beloved consort, and he was also talking to his friend Uddhava. Lord Krishna worshipped Narada again by standing up. Just now Narada Muni has left the palace where Lord Krishna was there, and when he goes to another palace, there again Krishna was doing some other activities like playing dice with his wife and also talking to Uddhavaji. Again, as soon as Lord Krishna saw Narad coming in, Lord again got up from his seat, bowed his head, and then with very sweet word, as if he doesn't know that he has already met Narada in the previous palace. As if he did not know, he asked him, when did you arrive? My Lord, what can needy person like us do for those who are in full themselves, those who are ātmarāms, who come to the houses like our grahasthas? And Lord is saying, a needy person like us, like me, what can I do for such great saints? In any case, my dear Brahmana, please make my life auspicious. Thus addressed, Narada was astonished. By these sweet words, Narada Muni was astonished. This time Naraji saw that Lord Krishna was engaged as an affectionate father petting his small children. From there he entered another palace and saw Lord Krishna preparing to take his bath. In one place, the Lord was offering oblation to the sacrificial fires. In another, worshipping through 5 Maha-yajnas. In another, feeding Brahmanas. And in yet another, eating the remnants of food left by Brahmanas. So when Narada Muni went palace after palace to see the prowess of the Krishna, potencies of the Krishna, so in each of the palaces, Lord Krishna was engaged in different activities. Srila Prabhupada writes at the end of this chapter all the activities of the Lord in different palaces can be categorized into three groups: dharma, artha and kama. Religiosity, economic development and sense gratification. So Lord was engaged in these various activities. And somewhere Lord Krishna was observing the rituals for worship at sunset by refraining from speech, observing Mauna Vrata and quietly chanting the Gayatri mantra. And elsewhere he was moving about with the sword and shield in areas set aside for sword practice. As he was a Kshatriya king, so he has to practice these weapons. So in the evening time, Lord was practicing this, moving about the sword, and then horse riding and also elephant riding. All these activities Narada Muni could witness. Somewhere he was consulting with royal ministers like Uddhava, and somewhere else he was enjoying in the water surrounded by many society girls and other young women. So the activities like offering oblations into the sacrificial fire, feeding the Brahmanas, and giving cows in charity to many Brahmanas, these were all the activities that Grahastha should follow as a dharma activities, religious principles. And then the activities like discussing with Uddhava or sitting in a meeting discussing about how to expand and how to carry out social activities like constructing the roads and constructing the gardens. So he was discussing with many people in the sabha. So these were the artha activities. And then he was also, in the evening time, Lord was playing with many of his consorts, water sports, and these were the kama activities. So Narada Muni could witness these various activities in different palaces. Sukadeva Goswami, while describing the various activities of the Lord as a grahastha, as a householder, in the last chapter of this canto 10th, the 90th chapter, where Sukadeva Goswami is summarizing all the various activities of the Lord. So Sukadeva Goswami says to Parikshita, and how could one possibly describe the great austerities that had been performed by the woman who perfectly served him, the spiritual master of the universe, in pure ecstatic love, thinking of him as their husband? They rendered such intimate services as massaging his feet. Sukadeva Goswami, astonished to see how fortunate all these ladies in different palaces. They could serve the Lord in person, considering as if he is their own husband, although Lord is the universal Guru. And then similarly, Lord Brahmaji, when he saw, after the Brahma Vimohan Leela, the gopis, the mothers of the gopas, when Lord Krishna has assumed so many different forms, just to bewilder Lord Brahma, Krishna has expanded himself into so many gopas, which Brahmaji has stolen them. And also Lord Krishna expanded into so many small calves. Because all these mothers wanted, sometime they desired that when there will be an opportunity that we will feed with our own breast Lord Krishna. And Krishna fulfilled their desire. And all these mothers, when their own child is coming in the evening, they felt ecstatic. And the milk started flowing from their chest. Seeing this, Brahmaji, he was astonished. And then Brahmaji sings, Aho tidanya guprajago ramanya stanyamrutam pitamati vate mudam yasam vibho vatsatatmaratmaja Yatraptaye de pinachalam madvara. Ahoti danya vrajago ramanya. How fortunate these ladies from this Braja. And they could satisfy Lord Krishna by feeding their own chest milk. How fortunate they are. And then the satisfaction the Lord got from this activity, probably he may not have got from, any prayers which are described, the glorifying the Lord in the Vedas. So similarly, Sukadeva Goswami is glorifying the fortune of these great ladies of this Dwarka queens. How fortunate they are. And how could one possibly describe the great austerities that they have been performed by these women who perfectly served the Lord, who is the spiritual master of the universe in pure ecstatic love. Thinking of him as their husband, they rendered such ultimate, intimate service as massaging his feet, offering him, different eatables like that. So then Narada Muni also saw that Krishna, as a good householder, in some palaces he was engaged in arranging his sons and daughters' marriage. In some places he was welcoming the daughter and son-in-law when they come home, and in some palaces he was sending them off from their place. So this is what somewhere he was worshipping all the demigods with elaborate sacrifices, and elsewhere he was fulfilling his religious obligations by doing public welfare work, such as the construction of wells, public parks and monasteries. So Narada Muni, when he saw the Lord is worshipping the demigods like Ganesha and Shivji, so in Bhagavad Gita Lord says, those whose intelligence has been stolen away, they worship the demigods. And the Lord himself is worshipping the demigods here. So Narada Muni, when he saw that, he was bewildered. But he thought that Lord Krishna is the yogeśvara. He is the universal teacher. As a householder performs sometime these various activities. So he pacified himself. So after this, now, this shlok which we read in the beginning, vidāma yoga-māyās, after having wandered into all these palaces, Narada Muni now, when he saw this great potencies of the Lord and observing the lords in different palace, engaged in different activities, Narada Muni prays very beautifully, "O my Lord, now we understand your mystic potencies, which are difficult to comprehend even for great mystics. O Supreme Soul, Master of all mystic power, only by serving your feet have I been able to perceive your powers." Narada Muni is saying, just because I have served your lotus feet, that's why I am able to understand this mystic potencies. Otherwise, it's very difficult to comprehend, even to the great Munis like Shivji and Lord Brahmā themselves. Similarly, Kunti Maharani, she is the greatest personality in Srimad Bhagavatam. The first prayers offered in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes, were of Kunti Maharani's prayer. And although Kunti Maharani was very closely related to Krishna in material relation, but she knew that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And he has the greatest potencies. It's very astonishing that in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna saved Parikshita from the Uttara Zumb. When Ashwatthama released the Brahmastra to kill the Parikshit Maharaj when he was in the womb, Lord Krishna personally entered into the womb of Uttara and rescued from this great danger. But when we compare the mercy that Lord showed to Parikshit Maharaj, how the Lord could not save the Abhimanyu. When the Abhimanyu was captured and he was killed brutally in the war, Lord Krishna could not save him. Although Abhimanyu was his own sister's son, Subhadra's son. Similarly, when all the 5 children of Draupadi, Mata Draupadi, were killed by Ashwatthama during the night, when they were sleeping, so Lord Krishna could have saved them, but he could not rescue. Draupadi Mata was crying. Sometimes it's a bewildering. But Kunti Maharani never questioned Lord Krishna. My Lord, why you did not save the children of Draupadi or Abhimanyu? She never questioned, because she knew the prowess of Lord Krishna, and she knew that Krishna is the Lord, and whatever he does is a perfect thing. So that's why she offers a very beautiful prayer, Kunti Maharani. This is the Kunti Maharani says, Sri Krishna, Krishna Sakha, Vrashni Rashabhavani Dhru, Sri Krishna, Krishna Sakha, Vrashni Rashabhavani Dhru, Rajani Vamshadahana Anapavargavirya Govinda, He Govinda, Govinda Godvija Surarti Haravata Yogeshvara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste Yogeshvara Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Very beautiful prayer. O Krishna, O friend of Arjuna, O chief amongst the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties which are disturbing elements on the earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and you descend to relieve the distress of the cows, the brahmanas, and the devotees. You possess all mystic powers, and you are the preceptor of the universe, entire universe. Akhila Jagat Guru. You are the Almighty God, and I offer you my respectful obeisances. This is Kunti Maharani's prayer. If we just see the mood of Kunti Maharani, seeing all the activities of Lord Krishna, she was very much convinced inside her heart that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personal, and whatever he does is perfect. In a similar way, Narada Muni, when he visited all these palaces, and although some of his activities were very bewildering, but Narada Muni understand that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is the Akhila Jagat Guru. He is trying to teach the whole universe by his own activities how the ideal grahastha should behave. So that's why Narada Muni kept quiet and inside satisfied. When he is leaving, he offers this prayer. Kunti Maharani, in another, in her own prayer, when Lord Krishna was a small child, during Kartik Mass, Mother Yashoda binds Krishna. And then Kunti Maharani, it appears that during Deepavali time, Kunti Maharani must be there in Yashoda Mata Nand Baba's house. She could witness that Krishna is being born by Yashoda Mata. And Krishna is crying like an ordinary child, with both of his hands massaging his eyes, and the massacre and the tears are flowing. And then this was very bewildering to Kunti Maharani. So in her prayer, Kunti Maharani says, my Lord, how can we understand? I am a lady. The great Munis, even the Brahmas and Shivji, does not understand your potencies. How can a lady like me can understand? And she sings, it's a very beautiful prayer. This is the first Damodara Ashtakam stanzas sung by Kunti Maharani. Gopya dade tvai krata gasidama tavat gyate dashashukalilanjana sambramaksham vaktram niniya bhaya bhavanaya stitasha samam vimohayati bhi apiyad bhibeti. My Lord Krishna, Yashoda took up a rope to bind you when you committed an offense. And your perturbed eyes overflooded with tears, which washed the massacre from your eyes. And you are afraid. Though fear personified is afraid of you. This sight is bewildering to me. So Krishna's pastimes are all bewildering to even the great personalities. So this is how, in the same mood, Narada Muni offering prayers in this text 38 and 39. O Lord, please give me your leave. I will wander about the worlds which are flooded with your fame, loudly singing about your pastimes, which purify the universe. So even Narada Muni was bewildered to see Lord Krishna's amazing pastimes as a human being. Therefore, with the words Anujanihi Mam Krishna, he requests permission to return to his normal service of traveling and preaching, inspired by what he has seen. He wants to preach widely the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is why in the beginning of this chapter, Narada Muni desired to see the potencies of the Lord, personally visiting all these great palaces. And then, after seeing this, personally witnessing that Krishna, all his activities are bewildering. And now, Narada Muni offers prayer that I want to return back to my normal activity of preaching. So please allow me to leave. So all these great personalities like Narada Muni always try to broadcast the glories of the Supreme Lord in different places. So the gopis sing in Gopi Geet, Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam Srimadhatatam bhuvi grananti ye bhurida jana bhuvi grananti ye bhurida jana. The nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. So Narada Muni understands this. The whole universe, everyone is suffering. Even in this world, or into the Swarga, or into the Patal Lok. Everyone is suffering. Although in the Swarga, there are a lot of, there's a great opulence. But still, even the demigods living in Swarga are suffering. So Prahlad Maharaj says in his prayer, Yasmat priya priya viyoga sanyoga janma shokagnina sakalayo nishudayamanaha dukkaushadam tadapi dukkham taddiya aham bhuman brahmami vadame tavadasya yogam. Hey my Lord, I have seen both in all this universe, everyone is suffering. Even in the Swarga, or in the Patal Loka, or in Bhuloka, everyone is suffering. And everyone tries to avoid this suffering by adopting some means. But these means again also become suffering later. So both miseries and remedies are miserable in this world. So this is Prahlad Maharaj is saying. So that's why, my Lord, if you want to give me anything, please give me your dashatva, give me your service. so that I can broadcast your glories. So this is what, similarly, the gopis also say that these narrations transmitted by the learned sages eradicates one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly those who spread the message of Godhead are most beneficent. So just by hearing these transcendental activities of the Lord, they pacify the heart. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a Amala Purana. Any of the activity described in this Srimad Bhagavatam, just by hearing those, it will pacify the heart. And that is why the Sukadeva Goswami in this 10th canto, the last chapter, 90th chapter, where he is summarizing all the activities of the Lord. And this is the last shloka that he recites. So very beautiful shloka, and this is the Falashruti of listening the Srimad Bhagavatam. Falashruti of hearing the Bhagavatam every day. He says, by regularly hearing, chanting and meditating on the beautiful topics of the Lord Mukunda, with ever increasing sincerity, a mortal being will attain the divine kingdom of the Lord. Just by hearing, chanting, and then meditating on these pastimes. Where the unavoidable power of death holds no sway. For this purpose, many persons, including great kings, abandoned their mundane homes and took to the forest. Just to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, many people come to Vrindavan, study Srimad Bhagavatam, hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So hearing and listening the glories of the Lord will pacify our heart. Rukmini Mata, she had not seen Lord Krishna. When she was young, Narada Muni and other great sages used to come to Rukma king's palace, and they used to sing the glories of the Lord. So Rukmini Mata, when she was young, she was listening these glories, the beauty of Krishna and the pastimes of Krishna, and she naturally started loving Krishna. And then she decided that I will marry only Lord Krishna, none other. And then she writes a letter to Lord Krishna. And in that letter, Rukmini Mata said, Shrutva gunan bhuvanasum darashunmata mate nirvishya karna vivarai haratongatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartalabham tvayachyuta visati chittam apatrapam me Shutva gunan bhuvanasum. Hey Bhuvanasundar, just by hearing your glories, my heart is pacifying. In this Mahadavagni, everybody is burning in this Davagni. But just by hearing your glories, my heart is pacified. Now I have decided just to marry you. And this nirlajjaman, the shameful mind, I have surrendered to your lotus feet. Kindly come and take me from this place. So this is how Rukmini Mata says. So listening these glories, witnessing as Narada Muni went personally to see the potencies of the Lord, it will pacify our heart. And also broadcasting this, telling others, will also increase our devotion to Lord Krishna. And this is how Narada Muni, Sukadeva Goswami is telling at the end, just by listening these glories, one will definitely go to the Vaikuntha Loka. You will attain that highest abode. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
So Narada Muni, by hearing from the Mahabhagavat and taking the remnants, said he became Narada Muni. And he has free entrance to the spiritual world, the material world. Krishna is existing in the material world and the spiritual world. Does Narada Muni exist in both places? And does he actually, is he just one, does he expand himself to come to the material world, or does he stay in the spiritual world sometimes too?
Okay. I think it's a very beautiful question. In Garg Samhita, it is explained that Narada Muni, earlier he was in the spiritual planet. Earlier when he was son of Brahmaji. And one day, in the assembly of all the saints, Narada Muni was singing some songs which are not in accordance with the that sabha, and Brahmaji cursed him. Although he was the son of Brahmaji cursed him to become a mortal. So that's why Narada Muni became a son of a Shudra. And as you said, Narada Muni, by the association of the devotees and taking the remnants, and again he could achieve that position, he comes back. But Narada Muni has the power, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, he has got this power to wander into different places and broadcast the glories of the Lord. And I think he remains at one place wherever he travels. But he has a vision to see beyond this material world, the power which is given by Lord Krishna. Is what I have understood.
Thank you.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, सब भक्तों की जय।